it appears to be improper that while a bid is being evaluated and you are one of the bidders, you are having meetings with a senior supply chain person in the very department. And
yes, so on your question, Commissioner Kamala, even if assuming it was not in relation to the tender, the meeting,
yeah.
It would nevertheless be improper.
Yeah, because you don't know what influence he has. Does he appoint, for example, the people who sit in various committees? What exactly is his role? And those are some of the questions that may have to be answered for us. Because how else do you explain the various requests for meetings with him? And Indeed. It's clear that the discussion is about the tender, where there's interest by these two parties in that tender. They want it to be awarded to them.
Indeed, and what we see also, Commissioner Kamalo, from the chats is that there is information that you could only have if you were talking to somebody inside. So it has been brought to General Khan's attention, rectified at some point. So the information is coming from somebody who is close to the process. Whether Mr. Fani is sitting on the committee or not, we would need to establish. But it's certainly information that he has access to.
Ms. Hassim, as you find out whether Mr. Fani was part of one of the committees, perhaps you might as well find out or get a copy of the I don't know, there's procurement, the relevant extracts about employee conduct when it's tenders in which they have an interest, because this communication from General Khan suggests that he does have an interest in how this tender is evaluated, and it will be important. I think one of the questions that would have to be asked of him is whether he declared an interest, and I think it's advisable that we know what is the requirement. So if you would get the necessary extracts.
We'll do so, Commissioner Bloy.
Thank you.
Chair and Commissioners, we will be making submissions about that, because while what's clear is it can't be correct that so there are two issues. One is the conversations with somebody in Treasury, that's clearly improper. The second is the fact that you are a senior member of the SAPS. This contract concerns the SAPS. And I would say there's a third issue, and that is that General Khan himself is in the spare parts business. And there's a conflict of interest concern that arises there that, again, would be up for investigation. I'm not drawing conclusions. So to return to the timeline, in February, 24 February, the exchange was needing to apply, already anticipating that we're going to need to apply for a price increase on the tender. And if we scroll down to 5453, Mr. Valley checks and this issue of pricing for all the regions, and he responds on the same day at 12:37 in the afternoon. He says, "Bro, we applied and priced all regions, every region." And then he sends a screenshot. So this you'll see at page 5453, and then it rolls over into 5454 is a screenshot that is sent to him from someone who it's very small, the print, but basically what it says is we applied and submitted pricings for all the following regions, which is all the files that were provided for by the tender, and then he lists all the regions. Eastern Cape, Free State, Gauteng, KZN, Limpopo, and Mpumalanga, Northwest, Northern Cape, Western Cape. And then we get to 8 March 2022. And that's at page 5458. In fact, again, the pages are, it starts on 548, but the second page is above it. But let's start with the first page, because this is where General Khan sends Mr. Valley a copy of the Treasury letter recommending the appointment of Kazan, MSD. So at 5458 is the first page, RT 45 2021, supply and delivery of automotive parts. Paragraph 6 says the following government institutions participate in the contract. And then if you scroll up, Commissioners, you'll see paragraph 7, name and address of the contractor and other relevant information. And there were 2 of those list of bidders that have been awarded the contract. The first is All Parts, Pty Limited, and the other is Kazan MSD. Now, here we have this problem again with the emojis, but we will display it at the bottom of page 5459. So General Khan sends this to Mr. Valley to show him, sorry, one last thing. It's dated 7 March 2022, this letter. And it's sent to Mr. Valley immediately the next day, 8 March 2022. Okay, and then Mr. Valley responds with love and kisses emojis, which you'd have to look at on your screen because the PDF Adobe didn't transfer it. And then he says, busy with them today, on page 5459, and General Khan says, Bismillah.
Ms. Hassim, I thought that on page 5457, the contact person, remember we only had the name but not the surname.
Oh, yes. Yes. This is why I believed the Ghani to be this person. You see his full name there.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo. So that's the Ghani that's being referred to, who was the contact person for the contract.
Sorry, Ms. Hassim, are you able to assist with the translation of the second text at 5459, please? If you can just.
Well, I can, but it's hard. I don't know how to translate it. It's another way of saying thanks to God, in the name of God.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
So that's where we learned that the contract was in fact awarded on the 7th of March, 2022.
And do we know if this one ran its course, no cancellation, no challenge, no nothing?
It did run its, well, I'm not sure what ran its course. It did continue, and you'll see as I go through this chair that there's more communication about, servicing and getting purchase orders and complaints about purchase orders not enough, et cetera. There was a challenge from other bidders. The unsuccessful bidders brought a legal challenge to this tender. And we don't know yet what the outcome of that challenge is, but that they acted upon it will become clear in the course of the chats.
Thank you.
But that's also information that we can objectively obtain, at which point this contract was terminated.
thank you.
It was meant to, just as a reminder, to run for 36 months.
Ms. Hassim, taking you back to 5457, I think you've said it and we understood it, but you said it in passing. Maybe then to place it on record that one of the two companies, number 2, that is the company that belongs to Mr. Valley.
Yes,
Yes.
KZN MSD, yes.
Because you sort of said, you see, there it is, it's one of those. And then we understood what you meant, but just for the purposes of the transcript.
KZN MSD is Mr. Valley's company. That was the company, one of the companies that was awarded the tender. So, Chair, could I ask you and Commissioners to go to page 5472? And here, Mr. Valley sends General Khan a copy of an email from the SAPS with the naming the individuals who are responsible for this particular contract within the SAPS. And that's followed with a letter that's...
And you see that from what? That they're the individuals responsible for this contract? Is it the RT 45
Contacts.
In subject line?
And it makes sense that these are the individuals responsible from their positions, which follows their names: accounting officer, component head, vehicle fleet, etc. The next, this is then followed by this letter that's dated 19 March 2022, and it's a letter from KZN to National Treasury, and it's essentially a complaint or a request or a plea to vary some of the terms of the contract because of the COVID pandemic and the shortage of supply from parts that are meant to be, so basically original equipment manufacturer parts that are part of the contract that they are required to use, that they are unable to obtain timeously because of the COVID pandemic and importation of these parts into the country. So it's a letter from Mr. Valley asking it's addressed to Zanele Mkhwanazi, as you'll see.
Did you place the page number on record? You may have, I don't remember. For purposes of the record, please.
5473.
Yeah, we do see it, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
So, and then he says, please understand, our intention is to provide the best service at the best price with minimal downtime in order to keep our country and communities safe. We would appreciate your swift and positive response to our request, and we thank you for the opportunity. The paragraph above it, in fact, it says, maybe just for the sake of the record, I paraphrased it,
Ms.
but let
Hassim,
me...
maybe also read the one that starts Madam.
That's the paragraph.
Is that where you're going?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam, taking the above into account and always looking ahead, our kind request, which has been documented and previously allowed in prior SAPS tenders, is if we could kindly purchase or buy out OEM automotive parts and supply to you at a maximum markup of 15% on our OEM cost. We do not mind making a 15% markup on the whole to ensure we give you the best possible service and to keep our SAPS vehicles on the road. To ensure transparency, all OEM invoices will be provided or can be attached to the quote. This is the concern that is raising that I was paraphrasing earlier.
Please remind us, I may have forgotten, weekend might have come in. This tender relates to SAPS vehicles, but was done through the National Treasury. Do you remember why that is the case, why it was not done directly with SAPS?
Because it's a transversal contract, it's centralized in National Treasury. And it's for procurement for SAPS, but across provinces. And I think that's why it's done by National Treasury and not the SAPS itself.
Because that fact is relevant to the question Commissioner Baloy asked earlier, the question of conflict of interest. Because this is SAPS procurement, although it's done via National
Absolutely.
Treasury. So if you are a member of the SAPS, especially somebody at senior level, issues of disclosure become relevant.
Absolutely, absolutely. The fact that it's a transversal contract and it's centralized with the National Treasury, and that's why I was saying, Commissioner Kumalo, there are two problems here. One is with the contact with somebody in Treasury as they're going along, and the second is that General Khan is a senior officer himself in the department that's meant to be serviced through this tender. So...
Oh, you were saying so. Please finish.
No, I was going to move on, Chair, so
Yes.
please ask a question.
Please read into the record the paragraph that follows, starting basically.
The paragraph following the paragraph I just read, which began, Madam, says, basically, Madam, this is a request to change brands on some components to ensure that the supply rate is...
Should be perfect. Misspelled, but it should be perfect.
It says prefect, but they mean perfect.
Yes.
Unless in procurement, prefect has a special meaning.
We can find that out too. But Commissioners, the purpose of the letter is clear.
Do we have any idea what the change of brands, what that is about in this context?
Chair, I think it again, I don't have the final specifications of the contract.
Yeah, all right.
But part of it, as I recall from when we looked at the draft, remember there was a draft specs, was that they would have to use original equipment manufacturer parts, and they would obtain these directly from so if it's a Mercedes vehicle, then they would have to get the spare part, whatever it is, from the manufacturer. And what they're wanting to do here is to source it from other suppliers, and he's trying to say they will get quality, but they can't be bound to these terms in the context of the COVID pandemic.
Yeah. Thank you.
Excuse me. Okay, so they are now, but they're well into servicing the contract, as we can see now in March.